Hey everybody, I'm excited to be introducing our Module 10 film, talking about independent films. It's one of my favorite independent films by one of my favorite independent filmmakers, Sean Baker. And it's called The Florida Project. It came out in 2017. I've shown it in past classes. And I really love the film. We talked about this week in the PowerPoint how indie films often reflect a artistic vision of a filmmaker. It gives actors a creative release to explore themselves. Often these films are character driven. Often they can be edgy. They can be exploring social, cultural topics, something this film does. Sean Baker, of course, got a lot of acclaim this year for his film last year, 2024's Anora. He actually broke a record. He won 4 Oscars earlier this year for Best Director, Producer, Best Picture. He edited the film Anora. He also wrote the Oscar-winning screenplay. And he's really one of our most talented directors. And my favorite film, he's made other great films, Red Rocket, Tangerine. But my favorite film by Sean Baker is The Florida Project, filmed in nearby Kissimmee. It's just a great film. He first got this idea because he learned about people living in Kissimmee and other areas outside of Disney, ironically, that were so poor, that were so on fixed incomes or poor. They were just this close from living on the streets. They're called the hidden homeless. And it really looks at the underclass struggling to survive and obtain their dreams. And ironically, in this film, it's in Orlando, right steps outside of one of the most destined vacation places there is, Disney World. And that's what this film's about. And it's looking at this through the whimsical, mischievous eyes of innocent children. And that's what makes it interesting. He did some interesting things in this film. He cast 2 people in major roles that weren't actors. Bria Venati is lead character Moni's mother, and Moni, the child in the film, is played by Brooklyn Prince. And what we're seeing, Prince's character is a child, and she's with other kids in the hotel where they live. She lives often in these hotels. People live with single parents, often women. They don't have good jobs. Sometimes they're prostituting themselves for money or doing drugs. Sometimes not. But Prince's character is playing around over summer break with her other friends that are young. They're all about 6 or 7 years old. And we're seeing this world of people just struggling to survive through the innocence of children. So they're playing games, playing pranks on people. In fact, Sean Baker based the Florida Project, the children, on the old Our Gang Little Rascal shorts that used to be popular in the 1930s and 40s, where these young children were always getting into trouble. So that's kind of how we see this world in the film. It's beautifully shot by Alexis Zabi, and really, I've lived in Florida most of my life since I was 14. It really reflects what Florida looks like, what Central Florida looks like, beautifully through the eyes of children. But we're introduced to Moni and her mother. She's a single mother raising her kid. She's resorted sometimes to being a sex worker, which was the theme of Anora, sometimes dealing with issues that could get her in trouble with the law. And we look at this one summer through the eyes of the children. The only name actor in this film, and he got a well-deserved Oscar nomination, is Willem Dafoe, who plays the caring manager of the hotel that they all live in, the motel, I should say. And he's part caretaker, part parent, yelling at the kids, but you can tell at the subtext when they get into trouble, he yells at them. You can tell at the subtext that he really cares about these people, and he wants to try to do the best he can, even though a lot of these people might not have great lives, may not stay in the hotel, may not be able to afford staying in this motel hotel. So we do see all these characters together through the eyes of children. And I think it's a brilliant look at the underclass. Baker really excels at making films about people who are fighting cultural issues, social issues, class distinctions. He did that with his films Red Rocket. Anora goes over those same things. I really like this film. It's hard-hitting often. It can be humorous, funny, but these people are living in really tough conditions, so it's going to be tough on them. And we just, again, seeing this through the eyes of the children is really interesting. The film has these raw, authentic performances by non-actors, really fine performance by one of our best actors, Willem Dafoe. I really think you're going to find this film hard-hitting, but really a great watch. And I look forward to your discussion on the Florida Project. Again, it was filmed in nearby Kissimmee. And it's interesting to note that Baker's vision really kind of came true after COVID. Rents skyrocketed. If you go to places in St. Pete or Tampa, you see these hotels. Nearby our campus at USF on Bears and 41 Florida Avenue, there's actually a hotel that advertises that it rents by the month and the week for people that need to live there. There are hotels like this even in our local area. So just keep that in mind. Sadly, a lot of this is still happening. Again, I look forward to your discussion on the Florida Project.